It's super early. All right. So we're shredding the habits and the foods that don't serve us, and it's our 10-day jumpstart. We said that. A lot of people are thinking, okay, release pounds, and that's great. But a part of the shred is flooding your inner body with whole foods and fruits and vegetables and micronutrients. And when you do that, when your inner world or your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So pounds can come off. And why we're doing this is there are some startling trends in our world. And two of them is our environment is so full of toxins, and our bodies get so bombarded with all the things that are going on. And the second startling trend, and this is startling, is our food supply, y'all. It is crazy. All of the chemicals and the changes and all of that is reaping havoc on our bodies. And so we must constantly, to stay well, is to remove all the things that don't serve us and really, really put armor around ourselves. And the Shred 10 really does do that more than anything else that I know, because of what we're putting in our bodies. So for the 10 days, we are removing the following items, and I'll explain why we're doing that so that you all are clear. So gluten is a protein found in wheat, and we're removing that because oftentimes, and sometimes you don't know that, is that it can have an adverse effect on your digestive system. Back in the day, that wasn't the case, but now today you'll see all these gluten-free foods and items. So you're taking out the breads, the pastas, the cereals, but what you're not doing is you're not replacing those items with gluten-free foods. You're just taking out all of those altogether, because you'll also see that we're removing processed foods. So during this period in the meal plan, we'll share with you what to add in, but you're taking out all things gluten as well as dairy. That would be your cheese, your milk, your yogurt, your butter. There are some vegan butters, so go with that. The last time I saw a lot of people posting yogurts made out of almond, which is okay, except you got to look at the sugar content, because again, we want to make sure for these 10 days we're eating as clean as possible. So we're taking out dairy. Dairy often has, or for many has, an allergen effect. And when you remove it, then that's when you know dairy is really affecting you. Caffeine is pretty self-explanatory, but scary for some. If you drink 6 cups of coffee a day, the thought of not having any sounds horrific and may give you a headache. So in that case, I recommend reducing it. So if you do 6 cups of caffeinated coffee, then go ahead and try to do half and half, 3 cups of decaf or all of that, so you can wean yourself down. Alcohol, well, that's self-explanatory. Processed food, so that's pretty much what's anything in a package. During the Shred 10, best you can, cook your food. We want to use food that comes as much as possible from the earth. Sugar, so sugar, I don't know where that red line came from, but sugar. We're having, your complete protein does have natural sugars in it, so hopefully that will satisfy your sweet tooth and utilizing fruit. We're going to refrain from eating after 6:30 or 7 p.m. At the latest. We want to give your body time to digest the food you've eaten, rest, and get started for the next day. So that's what you're doing for the 10 days. You're going to add in exercise 3 to 4 days a week. And hopefully during this shred, we have some trainers and some experts in the fitness field that'll give us some tips and tools of maybe what to do, because we have some of those. You want to drink enough water so that your urine is clear. That makes it easy. Enough water so that your urine is clear. Now, some of you might say, well, what if I take a medication? If you're taking that medication early in the day, then you still have the rest of the day to flush that body out so that your urine is clear as possible, very pale yellow. Sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night. And you want to take 1 to 2 Juice Plus complete shakes per day. All of you have the complete shakes because you're doing the shred. Two is ideal. But if you want to stretch out your supply or whatever the case may be, then you're doing at least one. And we'll talk about the menu as well. You're also going to add in your Juice Plus fruits, veggies, and berries as a chewable or a capsule. You have to have the complete in order to participate in the shred. And the fruits, vegetables, and berries are highly recommended, but we know that not everyone has them. But we want to really reiterate why we recommend them. And the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries is your micronutrition. So it's really good for the body, but we'll talk about that. So with your shakes, sometimes people say they get gas, and that could be a part of the detox process. So if you're gassy, now if you stay gassy after the 10 days, let us know. Let your shred leader know. But I'm telling you that you may get gassy, and just forge on through that if you can. When you're using your complete, we recommend that you only do one as a smoothie. What is a smoothie? A smoothie is where you're adding fruits and maybe ice. Please note this. When you're adding fruit, this is where things get a little tricky, because I don't recommend more than a cup. If you're diabetic, I actually recommend half of a cup. So no more than 1 cup max, half of a cup if you're really working on that blood sugar, and only 1 smoothie a day. The other shake, use it with just water or a nut milk and shake it up and drink it, but 1 smoothie per day. If you're doing 2 shakes, you're replacing 2 of your meals. If you're only doing 1 shake, then your other meal will be a huge salad or something of that nature, and we'll look at that menu in a little bit. If you have questions as we're doing this, you're so welcome to type them in. At the end, you can verbalize them. We'll open them up for questions. We talked about the 1 to 2 shakes a day. It says, what if I'm hungry between meals? First recommendation is drink more water. The complete should keep you full. This is the other thing. In your smoothie, it's perfectly fine to add in a good fat. That could be avocado. That might sound crazy, but avocado works in a shake. It could be a nut butter, a tablespoon of almond butter, peanut butter if that's what you do. So if you make your shake where you include a good fat, it should last you 3 to 4 hours. But if for some reason you're hungry between meals, make sure that you consumed more water. The other question that comes up is, what if I'm not hungry, right? So you've eaten your shake and 3 to 4 hours later, you're not hungry, which can be so. We want you to have at least 3 meals during the day, at least. So you're not hungry when you've gotten in your 3 meals, that's okay. Everybody's body is different. We talked about the gas. Soldier through that gas for at least the 10 days, and then connect with us and we'll discuss it further, because that happens. So how to take Juice Plus, and then we're going to have Dr. Nailani come in just a little bit to tell us why you're taking Juice Plus. But let me tell you about how to take it. When you first get it, so the serving is 2 capsules of each, 2 fruits, 2 vegetables, 2 berries. If you're taking the chewables, that's 4 fruits, 4 vegetables, 4 berries. Generally speaking, well, you can break those up however you want to, but for me, I take them all in the morning, and I actually put some of them in my shake. The capsules you can throw right into your smoothie and blend it up. You don't have to open them up or anything. You can just take them that way. So take them with they are food. In the label, it says take with food. They're food, so you can play around with that however you want to. What was I going to tell you? If you're just starting to take the capsules, I always recommend just start off for the first couple of days with half of the dosage and then jump into the full dosage. It's a lot of great nutrition and great fiber, but start off slow and then get into the full dosage. All right, so Dr. Nailani is going to tell us what are the benefits of Juice Plus, because sometimes we're like, okay, why am I taking this? What is this for? Dr. Leilani, can you share with us what are the benefits?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Juice Plus is not a supplement. As you can see here, it's food. It's whole nutrition. And the reason that we are eating this Juice Plus is because it is food that feeds you at the cellular level in ways that we're not able to do otherwise. Even when I was juicing, I was not able to get what I thought I was getting. And that brings up another point. There are two gaps we have. The first gap between what we eat and what we somebody needs to mute.
Yes.
And the other one is between what we eat and what we get from what we eat. And that's a big difference. When people diet, they reduce the amount of food coming in, they begin to get rid of some of the fat, but the toxins are stored in the fat. And that fat, once you start losing it, then your body is being flooded with a bunch of toxins. If you don't usher them out, you're going to have a problem. You're going to rebound, and the intelligence of the body says, we need to protect ourselves from this poison. Let's add more fat. So you end up with more fat than not. When you flood your body with this kind of nutrition, you are ushering out at the same time that you are getting rid of some of this fat, bring out of the body the toxins along with it, and so you don't rebound and you are getting healthier. The reason that we recommend all three is because the fruits and the vegetables are your micronutrition, as was mentioned, and the berries help to open up those blood vessels to help the others to become more effective. And it has been proven. That's another thing. This is, as I mentioned, is not only is it not a supplement, but this has clinical research that proves its efficacy. So it's very important to not only just cut things out, but to put in that which is really going to feed us. Now, I know there are some who are looking to gain weight, not just lose weight. And when it is itself out, that's when you're healthy. And when you're underweight, you're unhealthy. When you're overweight, you're unhealthy. And so if you want to take those 2 shakes a day and add that fruit, if you're not diabetic, of course, you might want to do that. I hope that's sufficient. I don't want to take too much time.
That was great. I always feel like, I always laugh because I've been shredding for a while, but every time it's like, I just want to go take my capsules right now. Like I was inspired. Thank you so much, Dr. Leilani, for sharing. Yes. So that is why. And as she mentioned, it's not a vitamin. It's not. When you want to make sure for all of you that if you have a child or a grandchild or you want to sponsor a child, when you're taking Juice Plus, they get a supply for free. And that is really good for the children because they eat worse than we do. So just make sure that you have that. All right, so checklist. Make sure you guys have your meal plan. So you have your, at a glance, so your shred leader should have forwarded you an email. And in that email, it gives you your 10-day sketch. And then it also will give you access to a 4-week meal plan that you can utilize, even though it's 4 weeks and there's 3 weeks between each shred. There's enough content in there that will take you between the shreds. So make sure you have that. If you don't, find the shred leader that you're connecting with and say, hey, where's my stuff? Make sure you have that. You have your shred menu guide, as I mentioned, your digital recipe book. You want to make sure that you have access to our private Facebook accountability group. If you don't know what we're talking about or about what I'm talking about, go to your shred leader and say, hey, I'm not in the group. They should have sent you an invite. It's called the Big October Shred on Facebook. Now, if you don't have Facebook, your shred leader, because there's a whole bunch of shred leaders, may have an accountability text group or something like that. So make sure that you're plugged in to that. And then you also receive a Shred 10 success guide. So You should have received an email with all of this documents in there and an invite to the accountability group. So make sure you have those things. And then bring your personal drive and commitment. You got to have that. Like all this other stuff is important, but your personal drive and commitment is uber important. All right, let's look at the meal plan. Meal 1 should be your recommended, should be your shake or your complete. So again, you can do it as a shake or a drink. Make sure you drink that water. If you want to add in some extra vegetables, that's optional. That's great. If you need a snack in between, if you're vegan or vegetarian, there's some hummus you can do. Or just do vegetables as a snack. If you want to do some turkey, nitrate-free with veggies, but just flooding that body, veggie all the time. For lunch, it's where you add in that second shake or smoothie if you didn't do smoothie earlier. And if you're not doing 2 shakes, then in that lunch space, we recommend that you just do a big, huge salad. Sometimes I do my shake and a salad because sometimes I feel like I need more something, so I do that. And dinner can be very creative. You can do chicken, fish, turkey, tofu, and some. This is where your carb is, your other carb. So half a cup of brown rice, y'all. Half a cup. If you want to see the most results, follow this as written. If you want to see the most results, follow this as written. It's tested, it's tried, it's true. It works. So you can do quinoa, you can do sweet potatoes, you can do plantains. But stay within the guidelines if you want to see the most results, and drink that water. That's a kind of a sketch of the 10 days. And then you have your meal plan. When we do our post-shred meeting, we'll talk more about this as well. Make sure we said about the private Facebook group, and we're holding each other accountable. So it's most effective if you shredder check in on that page. Say that you're there, post a recipe, post an idea, post your success, post things that didn't go right. Like the last shred, I accidentally ate some chocolate. Like I was like, who put that in my mouth? And I was like, oh wait, I'm on the shred. So I had to fess up. I'm the nutritionist. I had to fess up and say, or sometimes I just want stuff, like inappropriate. I just want stuff. But I talk about that. It's true. Tell your truth, because sometimes people don't want to say it because they're thinking, well, everybody's doing well and I'm not. Not everybody's doing well. So please share. We want it to be as authentic as possible. And so I look for my shredders. I will call them out. I'm like, hey, Corey, where are you if I don't see you? So every shred leader has a different kind of personality, but I call out my shredders. So we're looking for you all. Your participation is, again, encouraged. And if you don't have Facebook, then your shred leader hopefully will connect with you. Preparation is key. It is key. You signed up for the shred, you know when it starts. I often hear, and I often hear people say, I didn't get started right, I forgot that. Hey, you got time to prepare. Get your food ready, go to the grocery store, play around with your smoothies, make sure you have your stuff packed. Preparation is key. If you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's what they say. All right, so what to expect from Shred 10. Denise is a shredder, and she's going to share with you her story of Shred 10. Okay, Denise.
Hey, everybody. I'm Denise Bradley. So I'm going to share with you how I'm shaking it up really with the Juice Plus and the Shred 10 every month. So over 2 years ago, I was in a really bad health crisis, and I really felt overwhelmed, and I was super tired all the time. I didn't want to be on the medication that I was on anymore. I didn't want to live my life on medication. I'm a nurse, so I get how sick my patients are. I had stress because I was missing work all the time, and it flowed over into my family, and I had too much going on with my family. I didn't need any more stress. I was sick that I was so sick that we had gone on a vacation, and I had to rent a scooter to get around Disney with my family. That's how sick, and I'm young. I don't need to be riding in a scooter yet. So just the worry that I had from, I knew I needed to do something different. I didn't want to be worried about my health and what it was going to do to my family if I got even sicker. So I was on this yo-yo cycle, and it made me realize, what am I going to do? So I got on the shred, right? I'm down 80 pounds now because of the shred. I love the person that I'm becoming. I'm having fun again. I've returned my health. It's back to normal now. I'm off my medication. I have so much more energy. And guess what? I don't have to ride scooters anymore because we have Disney annual passes. We go to Disney World and I don't have to ride a scooter anymore. I can outrun my family at the park. So I truly have taken my life back. And I know that you can too, doing the shred. I would love for you to join us this next shred. It starts next Monday. Robin and everybody else has told you all about it. It's so easy to detox and feel great. So I want to encourage you. And you just need to do it. Just experience it, because if you don't experience it, you don't know how you're going to feel. Everybody has different results from it. And I know that I've shaken it up. How about you? How are you going to shake it up?
Awesome. Thank you. It's so moving. I get moved by all of this every time. I mean, as if I'd never heard, some of these stories before, but it's just so touching when I look at how many people struggle. And so you all as shredders, as you go through this, I really want to challenge you to do well for yourself, but in the future, if your family and your friends are not shredding, you got to pull them in. We're inspiring healthy living around the world, and we want to inspire healthy living around your world, internally, externally, and all over the place. So just think about who else you're going to be bringing along with you next time. So we said, Shred 10 is your 10-day jumpstart to better health. What happens after the 10 days, we will have a post-shred meeting. So after the 10 days, we'll come back together in a meeting such as this. We'll talk about the results. We'll talk about the menu going forward, what to do in those other 20 days, when our next shred is going to start, and we'll connect. So we're going to connect on October the 24th. There will be different times because we have time zones. So I look out for that. And if you're a early calendar marker, then we're going to start November shred on 11/11. And that happens to be Veterans Day, but that's okay. We're going to shred. So mark your calendars for November, and let's open it up for questions. Let's see if there are any questions or comments at all. And I don't see any. Let me check this out. Okay, so I'm gonna come out of the PowerPoint. If you want to type in questions, you can. If you want to verbalize a question, you can. And if there aren't any questions, that means we explained everything, you know everything, and you're ready to go on Monday. So, and we did it in great time. We try to keep the meeting to 30 minutes or less. So last call for questions, comments, anything?
Hey, Robin, I don't have a question. This is Sandra. I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. First of all, that was great, ladies, everybody. Gosh, your story is so impactful, Denise, and Dr. Nalani, it was great to hear from you too. I know, I've heard from all of you, but it's still so fresh, and I love that for all of us. I did want to make a quick comment though. I lost a friend this week. I found out yesterday, but here's the piece that and it just reaffirms this is why we do this. 7 years ago, she was diagnosed with ALS, and you guys know that's one of the toughest diseases you can have. And I did introduce her to it after I got involved in the Juice Plus about 4.5 years ago. But of course, like most people, this was new, and she wasn't sure about it. But once she started to deteriorate, she became interested, and she got on the quad and the shakes, and it became a great source of nutrition for her. My point in saying this, because it can be kind of a sad story, but the good news is a mutual friend of ours happened to be with her in Canada when she passed a day or so ago. And but the good news is she talked until the end. Her hair was thick. It had started thinning, before, but it was thick and full and long. She kept her voice. It's just like she decided it was time to go. And I know, and they're saying, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. But, you know, she was faithful with her Juice Plus. And in fact, about a month ago, she said, I want my next shipment to come 1 month early. And I thought she wanted to delay it. So I said, okay, no problem. We can delay it. And she sent me a message back. No, Sandra, I know what I'm saying. I want it to come 1 month earlier. So she had such great faith in it, and it helped her. And when I look back at the pictures of her with her kids, you know, you're not really looking at somebody who has severely deteriorated. And I just know that it improved the quality of her life. So that is just blessing me, you know, to no end. But anyway, thank you guys.
Yeah,
That
thank
was
you for sharing that. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, any other questions?